Hello, everyone. Welcome to Backyard Musings, broadcasting live from Apple Valley. I'm Steve.
And I'm Scott.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We promised you a deep dive into Harris's policies, and strap in because here we go.
Yeah, it won't be very deep, though, because there's not much to it. So we'll see how it goes.
Well, it's more like her actions, her past actions in the last 10, 14 years, whatever.
Deep dive in a shallow pond. So here we go.
That's a good one. Harris took 50 days to painstakingly detail her policies and publish them on her website. Yeah, there wasn't any detailing.
Still no press conference,
no
right?
content. Yeah, no press conference.
Right.
Yeah, just platitudes on that website. But there's no substance, just encouraging words. It's been 50 days since Biden dropped out of the race. Harris calls it a new way forward. At Backyard Musings, we call it SAD. SAD, Stop America's Decline. That's basically what she's saying, but it's
their decline, right?
Yeah,
it's on their plate.
It's theirs. She's only attempting to stop the decline that she started almost 4 years ago. So she's got 4 policy points, and we're breaking down each policy point. So we'll point out the policy point. Here are the highlights. Number 1, build an opportunity economy and lower costs for families. Harris now claims her policies are working and wants to double down on the exact same agenda that will send prices even higher. She said Bidenomics is working.
Yeah. Former Obama and Clinton economist Larry Summers states the tremendous wall of money that the Democrats released last spring has led to inflation.
So those are Dem.
Okay, that's coming from people. Out of the mouths of babes, right?
Yeah.
So,
former Obama economist Jason Furman, this is what he said: the spending bill is, quote, too big. Don't know any economists, end quote, who supported that much.
Okay,
Obama guy.
Yeah. Former Obama economic advisor Stephen Ratner. The original sin was passing the $1.9 trillion budget, which has contributed materially to today's inflation levels.
That's the Inflation Reduction. Who was the tie-break vote again? Can you remind
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris. Yeah.
So
Biden's Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen. We all know Janet Yellen.
Yep.
Harris's $1.9 trillion stimulus was one of the, quote, factors that are involved in inflation, end quote.
Okay. There again, we're getting it from the horse's mouths here. Safeguard our fundamental freedoms.
So this is their second policy point, safeguard fundamental
freedoms. Number 2. Harris supports abolishing private insurance. She even co-sponsored Bernie Sanders' $32 trillion socialist healthcare takeover bill.
Yeah, this is totally Marxist.
Where is that money going to come from?
Tax and spend.
Yeah, holy cow.
It's going to come from you,
and
viewers.
That's like what? That's like 8 times the normal draw, right? The tax draw that we get.
This is slightly lower than the debt.
Yeah, this is crazy.
The debt's what, 35 trillion right now?
Yeah,
35 point something?
Yeah.
It'll reach 36 by the end of the year. Okay, when asked,
this is nutsy stuff.
It is nuts.
Yeah.
When asked about her plan, and specifically on if people who like their plan could keep it, she said, quote, let's eliminate all that, quote. Roll the tape if you don't believe me.
Well, at least she's being honest, right?
Well,
let's get rid of all of it.
Well, she wasn't honest at the debate.
Right. But I'm just saying, she's, at least other than like Obama, he said, if you like your plan, you can keep your plan. She's saying, hey, let's just get rid of it. Start from scratch, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Roll it all into, this is bad stuff. So she supports providing taxpayer-funded health insurance for illegal immigrants. Okay. Studies also show that her plan would also lead to as many as 50% of rural hospitals closing their doors. That's an economic boost, right? And a healthcare disaster. What are those people going to do in the rural areas? A lot of them
go back to shamanistic practices.
They're going to have, how are they going to get to the inner cities? And they're going to, if they do this, those hospitals are just going to be slammed.
Yeah.
We're kind of a rural area. When was the last time you went to an ER in this area?
Oh my gosh, they're stacked like cordwood.
You're looking at a minimum of 4-hour wait time.
50 people. At any particular time you go, St. Mary's?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And so that's the only hospital we have. We've got outpatient clinics. Kaiser has 2. They don't do any procedures in those.
So we've got Victor Valley and we've got St. Mary or Desert Valley.
Oh, those are hospitals?
Yeah. And
I did
so
not know that.
they have urgent care or ER rooms and stuff, but they're limited on size. I mean, Desert Valley is probably pretty.
You got to go down the hill, talking what, 40 miles, 50 miles
Yeah,
for procedures?
yeah. You're talking about San Bernardino, you know, Fontana. Yeah.
So speaking of insurance, illegal migrants, healthcare, we were just talking this morning. Time issued a correction. Previously, Time magazine had said that Harris was against transgender surgeries for illegal aliens, and they issued a correction yesterday.
Well, good for them.
Yeah,
I mean, that's pretty blatant, right? I mean, how could you say that she's not for that?
It's roll the
they're
tape,
all about
right?
that, right? They're all about that.
Okay, so her third policy point: ensure safety and justice for all. Okay, like justice, like Trump, justice for all.
Well,
Yeah, go after lawfare.
Yeah, ensure safety and justice.
This is for enemies of the state, right?
Yeah.
That is safety for illegal immigrants, right? All right, Kamala Harris supported the Minnesota Freedom Fund. You remember that? Helping to bail out now convicted murderers and violent criminals. One man freed by the bail fund went on to commit murder. She'll bring the Minnesota Freedom Fund's policies to the White House.
Yeah, and she denied that. She shook her head no.
Yeah, she shook her head no. She went just like this at the debate.
Yeah.
Kind of like, that's a low blow. But no, she was saying, no, I'm not associated with that.
What were some of the words she used? Extreme. Kamala Harris actively supports bailing violent criminals out of jail and allowing violent illegal aliens to roam our streets.
Is that like a weird dichotomy? Kick the criminals out of jail and bring the criminals onto the streets from illegal aliens? How many times have we seen murders and rapes from illegal aliens?
Yeah, and what is it they're saying? That the crime is down? Talk to somebody who's had
their child murdered
or house broken into or whatever. I mean,
if we had a secure border, those deaths would not have happened. Have we a secure border?
Do we have a border? I don't know if we have a border right now.
Well, we got ports of entry.
We probably have a border more on the north with Canada, because I've heard they're starting to really crack down on allowing people in. So
I think the border only exists at the ports of entry. It's
and why would like you even bother when you can come? When you can just cross over.
If the clinic you need to go to is right across the border instead of walking around,
it's more economical to do that, I guess.
Or take a boat and beach up on the shore, right?
Yeah, San Diego. All right. According to new reporting from CNN, that fund went on to bail out at least 65 people in a single county accused of felony charges involving violence, physical threats, or sex crimes. All were convicted. So,
folks, we're telling you, this is what she's done. And she's got these policy headlines, and this is what she means by it. Justice and safety and justice for all. This is what she means.
This is scary stuff.
Yeah. The Minnesota Freedom Fund paid bail for looters arrested in the 2020 riots. Remember the mostly peaceful riots? Yeah, right. For a twice
down buildings, police station. Yeah, it was just
shameful that the corporate media said that.
Yeah. And that was all under Tim Walz, right? He was.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So he's tied to it. For a twice convicted rapist, bail for a twice convicted rapist, a man accused of sexually assaulting an 8-year-old girl, a man accused of a vicious assault and robbery, a man charged with attacking a woman in a restaurant bathroom, and even several serial domestic abusers, among dozens of other criminals. Actions speak louder than words.
Yeah, these are all facts, right? All facts. Things happen.
Yeah.
So this one really it gets me. Keep America safe, secure, and prosperous.
That's the fourth policy
How
point.
can you say that after the first two or three that we've just gone over? So give Social Security and Medicare to illegal aliens. In some cases, I think we're already doing that probably. During the Harris-Biden administration, seniors saw the largest ever Medicare Part B premium increase in 2022, jumping 14.5%.
That's crazy.
That's huge.
For fixed incomes?
That's huge.
Yeah. That's huge for fixed incomes.
Yeah.
Kamala Harris wants to eliminate the Trump tax cuts, which would mean a massive tax hike on middle-income families. How can families prosper when you take away those cuts? That's raising the taxes.
Well, that 14.5% increase on that Medicare, that's almost double what the cost of living increase was on Social Security. So it was almost like a moot point, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy. So, Okay, am I reading C here?
Yeah.
Kamala Harris was proud to join the defund the police movement. That's another thing she denied at the debate in 2020. She boldly said the protests should not let up and applauded then L.A. Mayor Eric Garcetti, another piece of work, for defunding the L.A. police. She said it is outdated, it is wrong-headed, thinking to think that more people or more police officers make communities safer. And Harris has repeatedly called to reimagine the role of police.
I just don't get this.
That is just word salad. I mean, more police. I mean, let's face it. The primary presence of a police force is deterrence, right? You got
to protect and to serve,
right? But I mean, they're most of the time they don't show up until after the crime is committed. But if there's more cops on the streets, that's more of a deterrence for people to commit the crime. So I say more cops. Get them out there.
Yeah.
Think of all the military guys that would be able to fill that role, right?
Yeah.
Guys that have been in
Marines,
involved
Army,
in action and stuff. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and it's good pay. Police pay is good pay.
Good benefits.
This nonsense about defunding them needs to stop. We need to. So, I think the police need training on escalation and use of deadly force. I think that needs to happen across the board. But more police, keep our streets safe.
Yeah, it's like, why would you want to defund something that's protecting you? I mean, wasn't it Minnesota that in Minneapolis they voted to defund the police?
Yeah.
And then they turned around. Turned around and said, "Hey, we need more."
The flip and the flop.
Yeah, but at least they came to their senses.
Yeah. Day late and a buck short.
Yeah.
In 2010, Harris's DA office had to dismiss over 1,000 drug cases due to a scandal in the police crime lab, with Harris taking full responsibility for the failure. I mean, so we need training.
What a great job she was doing as DA.
Yeah.
So according to Harris, the current administration's immigration policies largely evolve, undoing the previous one's work.
Yeah, we see that happening.
Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately, she's right, and it fueled the invasion. The chaos we've seen through, though maybe intentional, Kamala Harris said illegal aliens are not criminals, and Harris opposed measures to increase border securities and decrease illegal immigration. So what is not illegal about being an illegal alien? And I mean, if you're coming across the border,
you're breaking the law.
You're not going through a port of entry. You're not applying for
you don't have a visa.
Whatever kind of visa. You're breaking the law.
Just because you say asylum,
right?
no,
I mean, you couldn't do that.
No, just because you say asylum doesn't mean you get a free pass across the border.
Right. And you got to have a port of entry reason for the asylum, right? Like a direct threat
it has to be
to your
valid.
Family or
but
you
through the
or
port
whatever.
of entry,
right?
It is illegal. They're breaking a law.
Yeah.
What was I going to say?
Again, not saying that these people. I can understand why they want to come here, but it's a numbers thing, right? Some of these people are trying to find a better way of life. Some of them are trying to ruin our way of life, and it's fact. I mean, don't come here and rape and pillage. And again, Trump got really beat up on this, right?
Yeah, back in 2000.
Yeah, when he made those comments, but
or 16.
I mean, it's happening.
15.
It's in our news. I mean, you can't deny the stuff that's happening.
He was right.
Exactly.
So, CNN, Jake Tapper is blasting Harris for dodging questions, and this was one of the questions about the border.
Yeah,
and she didn't answer it. Right. She didn't answer a lot of questions. She just said her talking points and she memorized.
Yeah, and she changed direction, and that was pretty obvious that night. So.
Yeah, so Kamala Harris tried to tie Trump to Project 2025, which he disavowed. And I don't know why. I think they're out of desperation. They're just lying and saying that he's going to enact that.
Well, I think it's the old throw it up against the wall and some of it's going to stick, right? Their people are going to hear that and they're just going to wallow in it. Like you heard that. What's the singer's name? Popular singer that's dating
Johnny Cash.
Guy? No, the girl.
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift has endorsed Kamala Harris, and I just heard this morning that Caitlyn, what's the basketball player's name?
Clark.
Caitlin Clark is also endorsed. So,
Well, I don't think that
sad
those
deal.
ladies are affected by the inflation. I mean, they make so much money that
Yeah, I guess, but if they're all about women's rights, and I heard that they're putting birth control in women's prisons. What do you need birth
why? Why do you
control in
need that?
women's prisons unless they're allowing transgender folks to go in there that have
Maybe to
the
control their
plumbing
period. I don't
parts to
know.
do that?
To regulate the period. I don't know.
I don't know. It's a topsy turvy, man. It's crazy out there. Very crazy world.
Okay, as a bonus, we're going to sum up. We're calling this Kamala Harris's Project 2025. It's a summary of what we talked about. First one, abolishing ICE.
Bizarre. I mean, come on. Of course, again, like I said, do we really even have a border? So, second one, opening the border.
Well, that's what she's going to do.
That's kind of, it's just like a continuation.
That
right?
bill that she said that Trump wouldn't support, hiring more border patrol agents. What do you think they're going to do? It's more catch and release, more people to hands on to pull them in. And she said that he shot down the judges in that bill. Well, it's more judges to
send them on their way, right?
Send them on their way. Yeah.
Just see you back in 30 days. Ha ha ha. It's crazy.
Defunding the police. That's her Project 2025.
Yep. Releasing violent offenders.
Yep.
Unless you smoke dope. Don't smoke dope, right? She jailed all those folks in California.
You're right. And laughed about it.
Yeah.
Eliminating middle class tax cuts already in place. That's a tax on the middle class.
And that will affect the economy big time, right?
Yeah.
Banning fracking.
Oh, but the flip and the flop.
Yeah.
And the flip and the flop.
Yeah,
she's gonna ban it.
Where is she on that, right? She's all about
her values haven't changed, so she's gonna ban fracking.
Right.
Okay, ending fossil fuel usage. That is the end goal.
Right.
And it just depends on if Dems are in power, it's gonna come quicker.
And we've talked about that. There's just no way that's gonna work. I mean, we don't have the grid for electric vehicles right now. So.
And solar, if freezes or hail kills it in Texas, is that going to work with the tornadoes in Kansas or Hurricane Katrina? Hurricanes in Louisville.
This is another big one that she denied, right? Confiscating guns from legal gun owners. She said, "Hey, I'm a gun owner, and Tim Walz is a gun owner." Well, that's fine.
That's fine.
You'll always have a gun.
The Den Milites will have that with their guards and their personal weapons.
But the rest of us are just gonna have to fend for ourselves.
Yeah, Festivus for the rest of us.
Yep.
Taking away the healthcare plans of hundreds of millions of Americans. Remember that Obama big lie? You said it.
Yep.
You can keep your provider.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which was a bunch of hogwash. Taxpayer-funded transgender surgeries for illegal aliens.
Yeah, Times had to do that correction.
Again,
she's all for it.
Taxpayer funded. That would you rather buy milk and eggs and meat, or would you rather have somebody's body changed that's not even supposed to be here?
All right, taxpayer.
That's just crazy.
Yeah, and look, go back to that. If you want, go back to that debate and look at her facial reactions when Trump said taxpayer funded. She looked like shocked, like somebody slapped her against the head. Yeah. And in others, just a complete shaking of the head. No, so outright lies. So she's going to make DIE mandatory for the states. It's already mandatory for the federal government. Biden did that. She's going to somehow make it mandatory for states, probably through incentives. Texas won't budge on that.
There's probably 10 or 12 states out there that won't budge, and then some of them will cave a little bit, and then of course you got states California, like ours, Oregon. It's gonna happen.
Yeah,
it's too bad. So remember, your vote counts.
Yeah, it has consequences, and it counts.
Absolutely.
Thanks, folks. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right, take care. Have a good day.